Yeah, so 4 pounds dropped 1 foot is the same as 1 pound dropped 4 feet. Nonsense. Okay, so Despard already proved it. He already proved it's not true because obviously he did the experiment wrong, okay, and got that answer, got equality, okay? And so if he had done the experiment anywhere near right, it wouldn't have come close. It's just obvious. So this will be...
So you now are going to continue focusing on that one particular experiment video with the aluminum pendulum, which was not a good one. Yes, but I have been improving it. I've already made a video. I'm going to make it once again. Right, my latest pendulum experiment with the carbon rod colliding against the rubber bands, they all produced results perfectly in line with the theory. Once again, here are my numbers. For the one mass going one velocity, that produced a stretch of 2.2. Now theoretically, if you want to know what the stretch is for a two mass going one velocity, that would be 3.1 theoretically. 2 times 2, 2.2 times the square root of 2 equals 3.1. But what did I get? A 3.1. For a three mass going one velocity, theoretically, it should produce a stretch of 3.8. What did I get? 3.85. Very close. For the four mass going one velocity, it should produce a stretch of 4.4. What did I get? 4.4 and 4.45. So once again, the theoretical predictions are perfectly in line with the experimental results. So how do you explain that? Are these three big coincidences? How can that possibly be? Am I so lucky that I got 3 times in a row very great results that they perfectly match with each other? How is that possible? Or did I cheat them? I have showed you everything how I've done it. There is no way I could have cheated the experiment. And there's no way that each one of them is a perfect coincidence. There's just no way. And then you keep saying, you said something about, oh yeah, well, doubling the mass should produce twice the amount of stretch. No, how many times do I have to say this to you? When you double the mass, we get twice the energy, yes, and that produces 1.4 times the compression or 1.4 times the amount of stretch. And I can prove it once again. So we have the one mass going 1V and the two mass going 1V. So we double the mass. We have a 3.1 and a 2.2. When we divide those numbers, 3.1 divided by 2.2, we get 1.409. 1.4 times the stretch, not 2 times the stretch. When we double the mass, it's 1.4 times the amount of stretch. And that means twice the energy. Twice the energy equals 1.4 times the compression or 1.4 times the amount of stretch. Also, so for the 2 times, let's see, which one I have? 6.1, 4.25. Oh yeah, so the one mass going twice the velocity and the two mass going twice the velocity. So we double the mass. Now we divide those numbers. 6.1 divided by 4.35. That equals 1.4 again. Then another example. The four mass going one velocity. And what I got? 3.1. Yeah. So the two mass going one velocity and the four mass going one velocity. We double the mass. Velocity stays the same. We double the mass. So 4.4 or 4.45 divided by 3.1. What do we get? A 4.43. A little bit more, but very close to 1.4 or 1.41, which is the square root of 2. So once again, how can this be three big coincidences? 3 times in a row. Almost perfectly getting the result of 4.1. Twice the energy, so conventional science says twice the energy means 1.4 times the compression or 1.4 times the amount of stretch. And I can show you here 3 results that are 1.4 times, that produce 1.4 times the amount of stretch. When we double the mass. When we double the velocity, we get 4 times the energy, and that means twice the amount of stretch. So we have the one I'm going 2V and the one I'm going 1V. So 4.35 divided by 2.2 equals 1.97, very close to 2. Then the two mass going one velocity and the two mass going two velocity, 6.1 divided by 3.1, that equals 1.96, very close to 2. 4 times the energy equals twice the compression. So you keep calling it nonsense and garbage, that one mass going 2 velocity equals 4 mass going 1 velocity, that they have the same amount of energy. Look, 4.35 centimeters and 4.45 centimeters. So the biggest difference is 1 millimeter. Catastrophical difference, right? What does your theory says? Twice the energy. The 4 mass going 1 velocity has twice as much energy as the 1 mass going 2 velocity. Oh yeah, so in this 1 millimeter of difference, there we have twice the amount of energy stored, right? Because 1 millimeter is such a gigantic difference. Oh no, it's because I've cheated. I've showed you everything. There's no way I could have cheated the experiment. Oh, it's a garbage experiment, so many flaws. Tell me then, how is it possible that all these theoretical predictions and the experimental results are so perfectly in line with each other? I mean, I have 3 times in a row these numbers that coincidentally are so perfect with each other. How is that possible? This is not a coincidence. So if it is flawed, how is this possible? How is this possible? For fuck's sake.